morning student. Welcome to the class. I am teaching you chapter 5 respiratory system. Dear children, in the previous class I have explained you about the breathing and the rate of breathing. Just recall both of these. What is breathing is the physical process by which the air containing oxygen is drawn into the lungs and air containing carbon dioxide is forced out from the lungs is called breathing. What is breathing rate? The number of times a person breathes in a minute is called breathing rate. Now, today I am going to explain you about mechanism of breathing. My topic is mechanism of breathing. Dear children, some things need not to be taught, and that includes the very first instinct of survival. What is the very first instinct of survival? That is our first breath. As the baby born, he or she started breathing. Our lungs were never taught how to breathe, as we never learned how to smell and how to see. Same, we never learned how to breathe. To be able to perform any of these functions, we are never ever taught. Regardless of whether we know the mechanism of these involuntary functions or not, it is imperative that we functioning, since these are mechanisms that facilitates our survival. So, what is the mechanism of breathing? Is the air which we breathe in and out of the lungs varies in the pressure. So basically, when there is fall in air pressure, the alveolar space falls and air enters the lungs. This is known as inspiration, means inhalation. And as the pressure of the alveoli within exceeds the atmospheric pressure, the air is blown from the lungs. That is expiration, means exhalation. So, mechanism of breathing involves two things, that is inspiration and the major muscle of respiration and located below the lungs. Inside the rib cage there is a lungs, and after the lungs diaphragm is there that separates the abdomen. This is your abdomen and this is your chest. So diaphragm is over here. It separates the abdomen from the chest. So it contracts and flattens when you inhale. In inspirations you inhale. Inspiration means inhalation. So when you inhale, your diaphragms flatten and it's contract. So diaphragm contracts and moves downwards. This increases the space in your chest cavity and your lungs expand into it. So when you inhale the air, you keep your hand on your chest and you inhale. What will happen? Your chest coming out. So the muscles between your ribs and also helps enlarge the chest cavity. Means your chest cavity is becoming large. The contractions to pull your rib cage both upwards and outwards. बाहर की तरफ भी निकलती है और बड़ी भी हो जाती है, ऊपर की तरफ भी बढ़ती है, upwards and outwards. So this is happen when you inhale the air. This is inhalation. Expiration. Now second process. In expiration, what you are doing? You are exhalation. You are doing exhalation. Means you are exhale the air. You are taking out the air. During the process, the chest wall expand out and away from the lungs. Upon exhalations, the lungs recoil the force, the air out of the lungs. Take full force to taking out the air. The intercostal muscles of the lungs relax and returning the chest wall to its original position. During exhalation, the diaphragm also relaxed. Now we learn the difference between the respiration and breathing. It is a complex biochemical reaction. Respiration, is a complex biochemical reaction. That involves a series of reactions that are controlled by different enzymes. Breathing. What is breathing? Breathing is a mechanical process that involves inhalation and exhalation. Breathing is a mechanical process that involves inhalation inhalation and exhalation of the gases between the cells and the environment. As we breathe in, the air moves inside our cells. Okay. So, the mechanism of breathing involves the various respiratory structure such as the windpipes, lungs and our nose, whereas respiration is a chemical process, as it is a biochemical reaction, is a chemical process that takes place in the cell. The air that we inhale bring oxygen to the lungs and is carried by the blood in the breakdown of glucose, which results in the generation of energy. Breathing is also called the external respiration, as it is in an external process of taking oxygen in and throwing carbon dioxide out. Breathing in all vertebrates. What are vertebrates? Vertebrates, those are having the backbones. Human beings are vertebrates. So, breathing in all vertebrates is done by the network of tubes that connects the nose and the alveoli. During inhalation, when we inhale the air is taken in through the nose that passes through the nasal passage, the pharynx, the larynx, and reaches to the respiratory tree. What is respiratory tree? The respiratory tree begins with the trachea that is divided into the several narrow branches. You have seen in the diagram which I have show you in the previous video about the alveoli, trachea, and there are a lot of networks. It looks like a tree. So the air passes through these branches and reaches the alveoli. The exchange of gases take place in alveoli, where the oxygen is diffused in the blood and carbon dioxide move from the blood is diffuses into the alveoli. Carbon dioxide is then exhaled out. During the exhalation, diaphragms and other muscles relaxes. Breathing is a voluntary process. This is one more difference between the respiration and the breathing. I am teaching about the breathing only right now. What is breathing? Breathing is a voluntary process and requires energy. Lack of energy, if we don't have energy, it will be resulting in difficulty in breathing. We cannot breathe properly. Respiration now. Done is of respiration. Respiration is called the internal. As breathing is called external, respiration is called internal respiration. As it is internal process of breaking down of complex organic compounds into carbon dioxide and water while releasing energy. Okay, now respiration, like breathing, occurs in all living organisms. Breathing occurs in the vertebrates, but respiration occurs in all living organisms present on the earth. Every organism respire. Now, respiration is involved or involuntary process. Now, breathing is a voluntary process, while respiration is a involuntary process. Involuntary process which are done by automatically, which occurs automatically. All the reactants are available. cannot be stopped by us. Okay, we can stop breathing for a second, for a minute. We can relax the breathing, we can stop the breathing, but respiration occurs automatically. Respiration can occur either in the presence of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen. In both the things, respiration occurs. We have learned about aerobic and anaerobic respiration, in the presence of oxygen or in the absence of oxygen. Respiration occurs. But for breathing, oxygen should be needed. Air should be needed. Breathing does not provide energy. Breathing not give us energy, but respiration provides energy. It will give the energy in the form of ATP. Now dear children, one more difference is there. Respiration takes place inside the cell, inside the mitochondria, but breathing takes place outside the cell, in the lungs. Okay, now there are some differences, almost 5 differences are there in your book, and few I have taught you in this video. You have to learn all these differences. Okay, this is your homework. You learn all the differences